Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy if you're brand new here, and today I wanted to do another Q&A video since I haven't done one in a while. This week was just kind of crazy, flew by. I came home thinking it was only Saturday. Turns out it's already Sunday. I don't know why I thought it was Saturday, but anyway, I'm filming this video for you guys even though it is a bit late and I'm a bit tired, but hopefully you guys enjoy it. The first questions by Fashion Nika. Hello Nika. It's getting really cold where I live and the temperature goes below 0. I've noticed that my damier band speedy starts freezing in the cold. It gets really stiff. I'm worried that if it gets colder that it might crack. Have you experienced anything similar? Should I not wear it during the colder months? And her second question is, if you were limited on a budget, no bags, but still wanted to buy Chanel, what would you get? Number 3, have you tried on the Chanel Slingbacks or the ballerinas? How do you feel about them? So the closest bag that I have to the one that you mentioned is my World Tour Neverfull. The canvas should essentially be pretty similar, it's just a different print, and the leather on this one is treated. I live in Vancouver now. It's a lot milder in the winter. I think the coldest we get is maybe minus 10 degrees Celsius, and that's pretty cold for Vancouver. I would say that unless we get a really cold winter, it wouldn't normally go down to minus 10 that often. So it's still possible, but it's not like as often, I would say. So based on the behavior of my bags here, so behavior of my canvas bags here, I wasn't too concerned. Having said that, I do rotate a lot of my bags, and I think the times that I actually spend outside is quite limited when it is quite cold. So in most cases, when it is really freezing outside, I would typically take my car, or I'll be in the comfort of my car most of the time and be just outdoors when I have to step out to get inside again. So the time that I'm actually standing outside is not really that long. So I can't really comment on whether I've really felt my bag being so stiff to the point where I was worried. Now, I do believe that with any material, whether it's canvas or even leather, that if you notice the behavior of the bag being so stiff that even you think that it might crack, that chances are there is a very big possibility that it could. I'm not saying that it will right away, but I think over time, if you do expose any material, in my opinion, to really extreme temperatures, whether it's too hot or too cold, that the chances are it will wear faster. So even though I feel like it might not crack right away, it's possible that one day it will. If I were in your case, when it is really cold and you have to go out for a long period of time, let's say you have to wait for the bus, or just walk outside for a while before you get to where you go, then I would say maybe avoid taking your nicest bags. Those of you who do live in really cold weather, below freezing, do comment down below to let us know as well what is your experience with your canvas bags from LV, whether you notice any cracking. I really love your second question simply because I think it's applicable to a lot of people. A lot of people might want to start their Chanel collection, but their bags are just getting so expensive. I mean, in Canada, the minis have gone up in price so much. A rectangle mini is over $4,000 now, and plus taxes like $4,500, which is really crazy if you ask me. I remember my first Chanel bag, which is basically a medium flap in the Mademoiselle lock. That was under $4,000 when I first got it, and that was just about 8 years ago. I mean, it is a long time ago, but still, like, I mean, it's just crazy how the prices are now. So I totally love this question, because if I were to start from scratch right now and I cannot afford a bag yet, but I do want to buy something from Chanel, I highly recommend, based on my preference obviously and what I have so far, I highly recommend their costume jewelry. So anywhere from earrings to brooches, I think they're great. I feel like Chanel is quite exceptional in a sense that even though it's not genuine material, they do sort of keep their value a little bit better. And regardless of value, obviously, I do find that Chanel jewelry, costume jewelry, are very classic. So no matter what you buy today, in 10 years, I feel like you're still gonna love your collection. You're still gonna want to reach for those earrings. You're still gonna want to reach for those brooches. They're just such an easy way to elevate your outfits, I feel. You could be wearing a simple t-shirt and jeans and wear a nice pair of earrings or brooch and you feel like $1,000,000. What I do suggest you to do is to kind of shop around. I always take the opportunity of asking to look at the jewelry tray whenever I go to Chanel. Even though I'm just browsing, I do look at the jewelry tray quite often, and whatever catches my eye, I ask what price it is, or I just look at it myself. You kind of get an idea of the price range, and you kind of get an idea of what's kind of expensive and what's really reasonable for what it is. For me, earrings between $400 to $600 is quite acceptable. It really just depends on the design. Same thing with brooches. I normally wouldn't really go above the $600 range because of course we still have to add tax to it, so it's kind of close to $700 already. So it really just depends on you. For me personally, I feel like anything between that kind of range, $400 to $600 plus applicable taxes, is reasonable. I also suggested SLGs, and not just any SLGs, because like their costume jewelry, their small leather goods can also vary quite widely in price range. I do feel that their wallets are quite pricey. In fact, I think wallet starts in the high or low thousand, or maybe like in the 900 range sometimes, to, you know, $2,000, which I feel like is quite expensive, and I'd rather buy like an actual bag from LV or Fendi or whatnot. So in my opinion, if I were to go for a small leather good, I actually highly suggest their O-zip case. So it's like about the size of the mini pochette. You can use it in so many ways. Use it as a catch-all or use it just as a wallet. Their card case is very, very well priced. It's usually between $400 and $500 depending on which one you get. Like the boy style is usually a little bit more, but the classic one is usually in the $400 range. So I think that piece is a very, very reasonably priced item, and it's super useful. I think you guys already know that I don't even really use a full-size wallet anymore in any of my bags. Actually, I just use my card holder and another pouch, my key holder. I just find that these kinds of small leather goods are like the best, and they just transfer from any bags so quickly and so easily. And the last item that I suggest might come to a surprise to you, and I don't even own one, but I could only imagine a Chanel belt would be quite awesome. I personally have a Gucci belt, and I have an LV belt, and I have an Hermes belt. But if I didn't have any of those three belts, I would be so happy to just have a Chanel belt with a nice CC buckle. Oh, it's so nice. Or the ones that says Chanel written as the buckle. I think it would be a great investment, in the sense that you'll have that belt for life. You can use it in so many different settings while dressing up, especially if you love the style clothing. And I mean, you cannot deny a Chanel belt. I love my Gucci belt because it really does elevate my outfit. I also love my Hermes belt because it does the same thing. But I feel like with a Chanel belt, it's just extra special because not everybody has a Chanel belt. Everybody has a Gucci belt, and everybody has an Hermes belt. So I don't really see that many people with a Chanel belt, so I feel like it's a really good one. I totally forgot to answer your third question. That's how tired I was. But basically, regarding slingbacks and the Chanel shoes in general, Honestly, I have tried them all, and not just on one occasion, on multiple occasions, and I don't know what it is, but I just cannot fit Chanel shoes. So for any of the more rounded toe ones, just pinch at my toes basically. And even with their pointed toes shoes, they are slightly better, but I feel like I'm always in between size. You guys probably heard me mention in the past that I have a very hard time finding shoes because of my arthritis. So if it doesn't fit or feel comfortable right off the bat, I cannot buy them. So unfortunately, Chanel shoes is a no-go. All right, next question by Shamiku. Hi Amy, I see that you use your Gabrielle a lot. Do you think you still like your other Chanel bags just as much? If you can start your Chanel bag collection again, which two would you consider getting? Speaking of which, I just used it today. And you're right, I really like this bag a lot. I mean, I really love this bag. I did feature this in my best purchases of the year. I make that kind of video every year, so this year I featured my Gabrielle in it, and no regrets, really love it. I reach for it quite a bit. Do I like my other bags just as much now? I still do. I think it's such a polarizing bag for many people that I wasn't sure how I would feel about it also when it came to actually using it and owning it. I think it just works for me. I think I just like the style a lot. I really just love the chains a lot. It's very comfortable. It is heavy but not, you know, it has its weight, right? It's very substantial, but it's not that heavy at the same time, you know. I do fill it up. I just really like it. I guess it just, sometimes you just can't explain why, but you just really do like it, and it just works well for you and it works well for how I dress. If I were to start my collection again with just 2 Chanel bags, I think I would go with a mini, which so I already have a rectangle here and I have a square over here. Between the two, it's so hard because I like the length of the square, but the square is harder to fit wider things, so I might go with the rectangle, I guess. It really just depends on the color. Like, I love the color of this one, so yeah, maybe I'll just pick like a really cute color in the rectangle. And the second one that I would choose is, I definitely choose the Gabrielle. Like I said, I cannot explain it. I just love the bag. It just works really well for me. It's just slightly bigger than this, which I find super convenient because I don't carry a lot. I guess for me, the fact that I'm able to fit so many things in these mini bags, considering I actually do fit a lot, one of the bigger reasoning behind it is also the retail prices. Of course, I have my pre-loved jumbo, which I still love, but there is something special about buying brand new as well. The fact that you're the one putting in all the wear and tear and the one caring for that bag from beginning to end. When I look at it that way, I feel like the bags that I just mentioned, their price range is still kind of reasonable. You know, they're still really expensive, but they're at least the most reasonable out there. And also they're still really practical bags that for me, it still works in my collection. With the mini, I can't fit as much, but I love taking the mini to travel for whatever reason, because the bag is so compact. It's so easy to fit into my carry-on luggage, I don't know, it just looks so good. It's easy to have it sling crossbody while I'm on the go while traveling. Same with this bag. I traveled with this bag to Montreal recently. It was my everyday bag. It was my only bag actually, and it worked out really well. I might cheat a little bit and just mention one more option. I feel like if the mini flat bag is too small, that the Coco handle, even the mini Coco handle size, would be a really suitable choice. Similar to the Chanel Gabrielle, I feel like if that's not your style, it is still a little bit bigger than the Chanel mini, so it will fit just that little bit extra thing that, you know, you don't have to downsize so much that, you know, you feel so constricted all the time. So I feel like the Coco handle, whichever size you choose really, would be a great fit as well. Next question is by Melody Gong. Hi Amy, I've been watching your video for a while. Didn't think that I would buy the Deauville until now. I'm wondering if you still love this bag and do you still recommend it? As you may know, I purchased the Deauville shopping tote from Chanel last year, I believe. For whatever reason, I just got really crazy about the look of it. I love the fact that it has a handle and a shoulder carry strap, and it's a huge tote with the Chanel logo in the front. It just looks super cool to me. So I really fell in love with the idea of owning one, so I bought one. And you know what? To be very honest, I really did love the bag while I had it. I thought it was the coolest bag, really. I just loved styling it. But it kind of stopped there because while I love styling it, it was not practical for me because it was kind of heavy for me. I think the bag itself was not super heavy. It was maybe closer to 2 pounds or maybe just under. But because it is such a large bag, and with me, I know myself, the larger my bags are, the more I fill it. It just ends up being really heavy. Knowing that it would be a heavier bag, and also knowing that I would sacrifice comfort for just owning it, and also maybe just using it whenever I'm in the comfort of my own car. Like, even though I accept, like I told myself all these reasons that that's the reason why I bought it, it just ended up being not as practical for me. I feel like it's such a great bag if you use it for work or for travel. Because I don't use it for travel and I don't really use it for work, it just came down to me not reaching for it that often. If in general you do find bigger bags to be on the heavier side for you and that you don't like it, chances are you won't like it either, no matter how beautiful it is. And I should have known better. So nowadays I stop myself by buying bigger bags because I just know that chances are they won't work for me. But if you're the kind of person who never really finds bags that heavy anyway, even though you fill it with your life inside, then yeah, it would work for you, and I'd say in that case, go for it. Next question is by Estelle. Hi Amy, thanks for sharing your experience and thoughts. I work in a government agency. May I ask your advice on how to deal with difficult staff? Also, what do you think of the Gucci's Disco Soho bag? I'll answer your second question first. Gucci Soho Disco, cute bag, super simple and straightforward. I personally wouldn't buy it only because I guess if I were to own one, it would be just kind of like my errand bag, and I have bags like that already. I have my LV twice, and actually I don't even use it as much anymore. I just end up using my Palm Springs mini or my Fendi Peekaboo, so those are kind of my everyday errand bag. So personally I wouldn't get it, but I do like the bag a lot. I think it's cute. I think it's a timeless piece from Gucci. There can be quite a bit of wear and tear on that bag, however, especially if you just take a look at the second-hand market ones. Some of them that are more worn can look quite slouchy and the leather all creased and all that. So something to consider if you're okay with that. But otherwise, if you just love it and you cannot stop thinking about it, and you don't have an everyday errand bag or travel bag, actually I think it would be a nice travel bag, then yeah, sure, go for it. I think it's cute. Regarding your first question, for those of you who don't know, I did a Q&A, maybe like was it a couple Q&As back? I'll just try to link it up here, where I talked about bullying and just my experience with the work environment so far and all that. So I kind of spoke about a little bit about my career and things like that. So so that's why she asked about I guess my input on how to deal with difficult staff. I can only give you, I guess, my opinion on what I would do, I suppose, but it's never easy, and I totally understand where you're probably coming from. I guess what I would do is I will try to at least tell myself that I can only do so much because I can only control myself. I cannot really control how other people behave and what they will do. So if other people are being difficult and not cooperative with you, the first thing I'll probably do is, especially if it's been repetitive and, you know, it's just not been working, I think that the first thing I'll try to do at least is to confront them, but not in a mean way and not in like a very confrontational way. I'll probably just, you know, let them know that I want to talk to them privately, and set up a time to do that. You know, go in a quiet meeting room or whatever, like wherever you decide to go, where you can have your privacy, and you know, you tell that person that, look, you know, I have something serious to discuss with you, and you know, I'm hoping that we can really talk about it. And then maybe just directly let them know what the issues are. Let them know very objectively how it's not been working for you. Maybe also refrain from using the words like you did this, you did that, you know. I mean, at the same time, I know that's how you probably feel, but like nobody wants to hear that they are at fault for anything, right? Everybody has an ego, and not everybody, especially the difficult people, they might not want to be have their ego damaged or, you know, being put down or whatever. So maybe just, you know, also try to word your words very carefully, but at the same time objectively and firmly tell what the issue is, and see if they can work with you, you know, whatever your demands are, I suppose, or however you want to solve the issue. See if they can see if they're receptive, and see if they're able to work with you somehow. So that's the first thing I would do. And you know what, I've done that in the past. I guess it's not with difficult staff, but like it's, you know, with people that I work with, or with people that I've had projects with, and yeah, they're being difficult, and somehow I just don't really know why. You know, I don't know if they have anything against me, but at the same time I don't know if it's just because they're having issues at home and they're not in a good mood. Whatever the reason is, I don't know, right? Until I confronted them and I told them, look, why are you being this way? Like, you know, I was just trying to be helpful, or I was just trying to work on this, and just wondering, you know, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And you know what, they felt so bad that you know, they said, sorry, I'm just, you know, I know I'm being an asshole and blah blah blah. And you know, it got better from then on. It was not like perfect, but at least they acknowledged. But in the event that talking to them directly about the issue respectively and objectively did not work, if that doesn't work for you, then I would just escalate it. Go to HR, or go to someone who has more authority, a superior or another manager or whoever that can I guess try to intervene and see what's going on. So that's what I would do. The next question is by Trace. Hi Amy, how do you find your pink rectangular mini so far? You sold your light gold one last year. I am just curious how you find the bag this year. If you guys have been following me, I also bought there was like a unicorn pink color, which is called light gold, and also the rectangular mini that I bought last year and also sold afterwards. After a few months I sold it. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I mean, in hindsight, I wish I didn't sell it, I guess, because I really miss the color. I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's ironic. I really do miss the color. I think it was such a beautiful bag. But like I said, I already sold it. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not gonna dwell on it. I just know that I won't make that kind of mistake anymore. So that's all I can do at this point. And whatever I said in that video still stands, especially at the time. I really felt like I was not reaching for it, and I really felt like it was hard to style, that I don't quite wear as much light color as I wish I would, or at least I'm trying to now more, but at the time I wasn't, and I was very, very afraid of putting color transfer on it. Also, being a metallic bag, I just didn't know. Call it an experience, whatever you want, but that's how I felt at the time. This year I bought this one, and honestly guys, I love this bag so much, and in a sense it's not that different from my black square one, and you guys know that I'm very fond of the black square one that I have, because I really love the shape of this and the chain length of this. Because this is a rectangle, it'll just fit longer things much easier. So like you know, a huge phone like this. It just fits so much easier than having to shove into the square. So that's number one main reason. Number two main reason is the color. This color makes my heart sing. Of course, I do miss the light gold color, and it in a sense it did make my heart sing, but it was just not as suitable for my wardrobe, whereas this one does. I don't know, I just love the color red, and also I don't really mind wearing whatever I already wear, like mostly darker palettes and darker colors with this. I think with minis especially, it's nice to have a pop of color, especially your favorite color. The next question is by Aishan Razak. Hopefully I pronounced it properly. Hi Amy, I'm loving your Can I bag after watching your video. What do you think about the bag? Do you still baby it? And is there any color transfer issue? If you guys haven't seen my Fendi collection video, which I posted recently, I'll also link it up here. Basically, I mentioned in that video that with my Can I bag, I really don't use it that often. It's just a bag that I wanted to have in my collection because it's so pretty. But to be very, very truthful, I don't really use it that often. It's not my everyday bag. It's not even my weekly bag. It's just a bag that I wanted in my collection because it's so nice. Color transfer, I feel like this leather behaves really, really well. I haven't really had any issue with it. But then again, I haven't worn it that much, so I can't really comment if I were to wear it every day and crossbody, especially if it's crossbody. I can only assume it will put a lot more wear and tear and dent down here, because it's just like, it's just a flexible leather. If you do love this bag and you want to get one and you want to use it as an everyday bag, I do warn you that I do think it will wear quite a bit. Because like I said, just look at the secondhand market. With this softer leather, it will crease, it will get crumbly, it will flatten. It might even get color transfer if you wear it crossbody a lot. So yeah, unless you really don't mind about this and you still just really, really want the bag because you love it, then I say go for it. But if you think that there's a possibility that you'll hate the fact that it will get all this kind of wear and tear, then I probably would advise you not to get it. My love, Lux in Travel. Hi Amy, I'm thinking of creating a YouTube channel of luxury goods, but I'm not sure about showing my face on film. How did you make that decision? I'm paranoid about security issues and do not want people that I know personally judge me on my luxury collection. Any of you who wants to start a YouTube channel, whether it's for luxury or for whatever content that you want to create, just do it. If you're always trying to strive for like being perfect and this and that and not make any mistakes and whatnot, it's probably impossible. So I say just do it. Just film your first video, even if it's a trial, doesn't matter. Just do it as if it was the real thing and then just post it. Honestly, I think that's the best thing you can do to yourself. You need experience. You need to trial and error. That's exactly how I did it. The videos that I made in the first 2 years, I probably cannot watch them anymore because I cannot believe that's how they were. Not to say that they're really good right now, but I think I'm much better now than I was before. I don't really know how I made the decision to show my face. I think I just did. It wasn't really an issue for me. Of course, I also worry about security. Like, I don't want people to know where I live and things like that, you know. I don't even put my real name on online. Like, you guys just know me by Amy or Fashionably Amy. You don't actually know my full name. Only my friends do, and my family, obviously. So you know, that's totally fine. Whatever you're comfortable with, whether it's showing your face, not showing your face, not putting your real name out there, do you. I think that's really, really important. For me, it was never an issue for me to show my face. Even when I didn't wear any makeup in my videos before, like I literally did not. I think I wore like mascara in my videos. I looked very different in my first videos. It's so bad, and I'm sure that by now you guys are probably gonna go and look for my old videos. But regardless, I mean, It was fine. I just did it, and I just told myself, you know what, that's just me, and if people don't like me, they won't watch me, which is fine. The people that do like me and don't mind my face and don't mind the way I spoke before will just continue watching me, and that's the kind of people that I want on my channel anyway. So either way, it works out. Regarding your last concern of not wanting people that you know judge you, girl or guys, there is no way you can control how other people will behave. Other people can judge you, whether it's in front of you, to your face, or behind your back. You can't control that, and there will be people who are trolls, and there will be negative people. There will be people who will give you constructive criticism even when you're not soliciting them. There's just so many kind of people. Of course, there's also the supportive people who are just, you know, very positive, and no matter how bad or good your videos are, or you are, or your appearance and whatnot, will just, you know, tell you that you're doing great. I do really appreciate constructive criticisms, actually. It's just that I do think that there's a better way of wording things sometimes, like just a little bit more politely and a little bit more nicely, but either way, it's fine. And basically my point is, I'm just trying to say that you cannot control how other people will behave. There will be people judging you, so you can count on that, and you just have to let that go. If you want to start your channel, you're gonna be exposing yourself to the public, whether you're putting your face out there or not. You're still exposing yourself, and you will encounter these kinds of people. There is no doubt about it. Not let that affect you, which is of course impossible, but you just have to try. And yeah, I think after a while you'll get used to it, and you'll get the hang of it. You'll either love it or hate it, at which point you can stop doing it, which is fine, delete your channel and whatnot, but at least try it, because if that's what you want to do, you should at least give it your best shot. So hopefully that was helpful. Mary Asai, I think, do you plan to have babies, and if so, what would be your designer bag of choice? We do have a child. She's my stepdaughter. You guys probably sometimes see her in my videos. I don't really talk about it just because, you know, I want to leave that part of their lives kind of more private, because, you know, I'm the one who decided to do YouTube, so it's only about like me exposing myself to the public. I don't really want to you know, disturb the privacy of my other family members. I guess in terms of bags, I suppose you're trying to ask, like maybe like a diaper bag, maybe that's what you're trying to ask. Honestly, I'll probably just go for the Neverfull, because I like the Neverfull a lot. I like that it's open, easy to reach in and out. But when it really comes to it, I don't actually even know if I'll use the Neverfull, because I just don't know, because I'll never know. That's the thing. I would think that I would use the Neverfull just because I already have two. Otherwise, probably a backpack, like some sort of backpack. I'm thinking maybe like the LV Palm Spring would be a good choice. And the last question is, how do you afford all your luxury designer items? I just make sure that I make more or save more than I can spend. To me, it just boils down to being smart with your money and knowing what you want. If you're not in a position to spend that kind of money on luxury goods, then my advice to you is to not spend it on luxury goods, because you're not ready to buy those yet. And I honestly didn't start getting into luxury or buying luxury goods until several years after I started working full-time. I didn't buy it right away. This collection that I have has been curated since 2008, so it's been 10 years since I started buying luxury, and it started very, very slow. There's no one formula, because we're all different. We're doing different jobs. We're at different stages of our career. We have different needs. For me, at this point in my life, I'm able to comfortably buy a few bags a year and other luxury goods. But aside from that, I also spend a lot of my money on natural supplements and alternative medicine. So that's also a chunk of the money that I use. My car is already paid off, you know, it's been 6 years. I already paid off my car, so that's good. So, you know, I'm in a position now where you know, whatever I buy, I know I can afford, and you know, I don't take these decisions lightly. Basically, I will never ever get in debt for anything, basically. And even if I know I have to get in debt, for example, when I had to pay for university, or for example when I do have to finance my car, even when I knew that I'm gonna get in debt, those are debts that I know, and I have a timeline, and I know that I'm gonna pay off as soon as possible, because you just want to avoid having to pay as much interest as you can. I hope this Q&A was helpful to those of you who asked the questions, or at least enjoyable for those of you who are just watching for fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you're brand new to my channel, I would love to have you back, so I hope that you do subscribe. Otherwise, I hope that you all have a great day or week ahead of you, and I'll talk to you again very soon.